Hi everyone, this is Paul Cooper, and today I'm going to be bringing you roughly 50 tips in hopefully 10 minutes or less. We'll see how I do at the end of the video. These tips are in no particular order except for the first one. The first one I believe is going to be the most important thing, and that's going to be following up. This could be following up with your customers, investors, asset managers, vendors, whoever. You need to follow up with them. Someone may say that they're interested in investing at some point and then you never hear from them again. Follow up. Same thing with asset managers. They may not have anything for you right now, but if you follow up a month or two or next quarter, they may have something for you then. And also follow up on previous assets that you already bid on. See if they're actually sold. See if they weren't sold. If they weren't sold, then maybe your bid's looking a lot better now. Maybe you should fade your bid because your bid's the only bid that's out there. So always try to stay on top and follow up with people. This is probably the hardest part of the job and one of the most important parts of the job. And it's not just note investing. You could apply this to real estate or really any other type of business or career. The next thing, and this applies specifically to note investing, would be avoid difficult assets. Don't buy a bunch of difficult assets hoping to make a bunch of money. They're going to suck you dry. A few of them will pay off, and then a lot of them are going to be black eyes. Don't mess with them if you don't have to. Now, if they're super ultra cheap and you can get them for just a couple pennies on the dollar, then okay. Other times, really, the only reason you should be getting them is if they're part of a pool of assets and most of the other assets are good, and so all the good assets will more than pay for any of the bad ones. So be careful. Don't get wrapped up in bad assets. The next big thing is learn how to use a time value money financial calculator. And this would apply to almost all real estate and most businesses. You need to have some grasp of the finances and how to use them. And this will really help you understand if you're making money and how much money you're truly making, how much money you're making for your investors, and what you have to look forward to, and things that you should or shouldn't do. Maybe it's an investment you shouldn't invest in. Maybe there's not a good return on your time or money involved in it. And so it's really important to know how to use that so you can do these calculations. The next tip would be to learn as many Excel tips, tricks, hints, cheats that you can. I didn't learn until recently that you can actually subtract dates in Excel. So you can take one date and subtract it from another, and I use that to figure out payments remaining for a certain loan. It's extremely helpful. And then the next thing would be multi-level sorts in Excel. When I'm carving up a tape, I sort all the time by the geographic location. That's the state and the city. You can do multiple levels. You can really fine-tune it so whatever you're sorting can get really specific. For me, that's going to be state and cities most of the time. It could be state, cities, and then ROI later on when I'm towards the end. That way I can see what states and cities I'm still interested in, and which particular asset has the best potential ROI for that city, state, or region. And then the final thing with that would be macros. There's some really interesting macros you can make and other things like that. Excel is very, very wide in what it can do. You could be an engineer and not figure out everything. So never stop learning what you can do in Excel. This will help you with note investing, real estate, and probably business as well. The next tip, again, applies to note investing. Never get rid of your old tapes. You want to keep your old tapes. That way, when you see a tape later on, you won't have to wonder, do some of these assets look familiar? Yep, they look familiar. This tape's been floated around a long time. There's some other tricks you can use to try to see how old the original document was, but if you go on there and it's basically identical to other stuff you've seen, then you need to find out if those assets just didn't sell or if it's a garbage tape. You'll get these a lot from joker brokers. The next big tip applies to note investing, real estate, business, and life in general. Don't be afraid to move on or next whatever you're working on. That could be investors, it could be asset managers, it could be companies and vendors you work with, it could be assets you're looking at. Don't fall in love with anything and don't be afraid to move on. The next big thing with note investing, you could apply it to real estate and business as well, is build your own ROI calculator. It doesn't have to be super fancy, but it needs to have some basic things, and you need to be able to add to it over time as you figure out more things. That way you can calculate all of your expenses and other little financial transactions that are going to be involved that you normally wouldn't think of. Like a lot of times people are going to do an ROI calculator and they're not going to include small expenses that really eat you up, like paper fees, filing with states, bank transactional fees, just simple little wire fees. Those things add up per deal, and you need to learn how to compensate for them. And the only way you can do that is if you're actually keeping track and adding to your financial calculator or your home-built ROI. The next big tip, this is huge for any business, is everything should be and needs to be scalable. If you can't scale that aspect of your business up, then it's going to be a bottleneck. And if you get too many bottlenecks in your business, then you're going to have a really hard time doing more transactions and making more money. Maybe it's something simple like just hiring more people. Maybe you need to build systems. It could be operations. But every single aspect of your business needs to be scalable. Hopefully, you can even automate some of it, and that'll really help you scale. But you need to start with that in mind. Because when you're in the beginning, you're going to be trying to put out all these little fires, and most of it could be solved by just making everything scalable. It's not fun, it's not sexy, it's a pain in the ass, and you have to really spend a lot of time figuring it out. But it's extremely important to longevity and to your final sanity months, if not years down the road. The next big tip, and this could just be a life tip, don't be afraid to admit that you don't know or don't understand what someone's talking about. There are a lot of terms out there in every type of business, and you may not know them all. In fact, a lot of places are going to have different terms that mean the same thing. So if you don't understand, just say, hey, I'm sorry, I don't understand it. What do you mean? Or, hey, you're using the word color. Do you mean discount by it? And you'll have different terms like that, and you just need to figure them out. And when you hear one and you get an explanation, maybe you should write it down until you have it memorized. So it's a bunch of different little things like that. Don't be afraid to admit you don't understand or you don't know something. Because if you tell people you do understand or you act like you do understand and you don't, that's going to lead to heartache down the road. You're either going to look like a fool, worst case scenario, or you're really going to get hurt one way or the other. You're going to hurt your investor, hurt your business, or hurt someone else's business. So just nip it in the bud at the beginning and be humble. The next tip is also a life tip. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Now, when you're starting a business or you're doing your own investments, there may not be a lot of people to ask for help nearby because you're the only person working in or on your business or your investments. But there are lots of people out there that have gone through the same thing, so you don't have to do it alone. This could be reaching out to people on the internet, forums, going to local meetups, investment groups, reaching out to professional investors. Most of them, if you're polite and you don't waste their time, are happy to help you or at least point you in the right direction. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Now, no one's going to come in and just do your business for you without getting paid, but that could be part of it too. Maybe asking for help is hiring someone and getting them to help you. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Another big life tip that you can apply to this business or other businesses, if you mess up, own it. Admit you mess up, own the fact that you messed up, learn from it, sincerely apologize to whoever you hurt. Hopefully you just hurt yourself and it's just a minor little boo-boo and no big deal, but you need to apologize, do what you can to make it right, and then move on. Don't let it haunt you. You need to learn from it, but don't let it haunt you. Don't let the regret keep you from moving forward and doing other things. Because the best cure to a black eye or a bad investment or a bad business deal is a good one. So keep moving on. The next big tip is buy once, cry once. You'll hear people say this and apply it to all parts of life, and it's especially true when it comes to business. Buy good equipment. Buy stuff you can grow into. Buy good due diligence. Don't be going with the cheapest vendors just because they're the cheapest. Make sure that you're paying for a quality product, because paying an extra couple bucks now will save you if they catch something on the front end, so you're not having to deal with it on the back end. The other big thing is marketing and branding. Don't spend just a couple of dollars or a couple hours of your time building something like, oh, it's got my logo on it, the logo I designed, because it probably doesn't look very good. Unless you're an artist or have experience, you're probably like, oh yeah, this is good, and then you get something that's actually good, and you're like, what I created was garbage. It looked like something a little kid would create. So just spend the money up front, because this is stuff you'll use forever. You build a good logo, a good tagline, good marketing equipment, you can use that forever. And paying someone 50 to 100 bucks or maybe even a couple $100 for something will pay dividends for years to come. The next big one is a website. Don't get cheap on your website, because honestly, they're really not that expensive. For $300 to $500, you can have a professional build your website for you. And if you don't know how to do a website or you don't have the time, this is going to save you both. It's going to save you a ton of money and a ton of time, and you're going to look professional. It's going to function well. You can have it designed to where it functions well on mobile websites as well, so people can be on their tablets and phones. And it's really important you have a good website if you're going to build one. Otherwise, why are you even bothering with it? If you don't really need a website, then don't build one. But if you're going to build one or have one built, spend the money to have it done properly. The next big tip is to do your business, investments, whatever, for the right reasons. So many people start a business, start investing because they hate their job, they need money. Well, guess what? Starting a business or going into some type of investing, you're not going to make money very quickly. And if you're only doing it for the money, then you probably just need to find another job or transfer jobs or do something else if that'll make you happy. Because if you need money now, There are very few businesses you can get into or investments that are going to start paying you the money you need within 30 to 60 days. If that's what you need a job. The reason you should be getting into businesses are the lifestyle it's going to provide you. You're interested in it. It's going to bring you joy. It's going to challenge you. It's going to be better for your family. Again, that kind of ties in with the lifestyle. You're going to be able to help a certain group of people that you want to help. That's what a lot of people do once they make their money. They start nonprofits so they can do the things that they're interested in, help the people that they want to help. The purpose, that's another huge thing. Are you doing this for yourself, for other people? Why are you doing this business? You need to have a good, healthy purpose. And the money is important. Hopefully you're doing a business so you can get paid soon and down the road, because there's no point working your butt off and taking all that liability on if you don't have to, if you're not going to get paid well. But the money really should be the last thing. The lifestyle, your family life, customers, the purpose behind the business should be more than just money. The next tip is don't leave your job too early. If you have a good job that's paying you steady income, do not leave it until your business has shown that it could consistently pay you for what you need to cover your monthly expenses. And again, this kind of taps back into your purpose. If you hate your current job, you probably just need to find something else. A side hustle or your own business may not be the answer. It's at least not the short answer. In the long run, it could be the answer, but in the short term, you still need to be bringing in money. Because here's why. If you're having to depend on your new business or investment to pay for your lifestyle expenses and your food and the roof over your head, you're going to get into some investments in business deals that you probably shouldn't, because you're going to be pressured just to get anything done because you need that money so badly. You want to be picky, especially early on, because you're not going to be able to take too many bad beats when you don't have much in the way of reserves or a big track record. So make sure you don't leave your job too early. And the other thing is it's going to be much easier for you to get financing for your business if you still have a W-2 income, not to mention things like health insurance. The next big tip is do not expect to be profitable anytime soon when you create a new business or a new investment. The only time you could ever really expect that is if you already have a lot of experience and or you have a large source of personal or cheap capital. Because it's going to take you a while to get that capital. It's going to take you a while to build relationships. It's going to take a while for investments to start coming in. And really, if you're having to take what little profit that you make in the beginning just to fund your lifestyle, you're really going to be hamstringing your business in the long run, because you want to take what profit you are making and just immediately fold it back into the business as soon as you get it. You could kind of think of this as like a dividend reinvestment program. You want to take your company profits, reinvest it into the company, and you'll have much faster growth, and ultimately you should have better profits quicker than if you had to take small profits out now. The next tip I have is if you're in any type of investing or a business that does investing and you're going to use other people's money, learn about SEC guidelines and policies and rules as early as possible. Nothing will hurt and stop your business faster than the federal government coming in and stopping it for you, giving you a cease and desist letter and asking you a bunch of questions. That's not good. You may not do anything morally wrong, but it's very easy to do something that's legally wrong even though you've not hurt anyone and have no intentions of doing it. So the sooner you learn about those, the better. The next big tip is for anyone in any type of business. You need to learn about marketing as soon as possible. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of different ways you can market: email, snail mail, phone, auto dialing, social media, video. There's all kinds of marketing. And you need to figure out if you're going to go wide or go deep. Going wide means you're going to try to contact as many people as possible, whereas going deep means you're going to target select people. So going wide is like the shotgun, and going deep is the sniper rifle. And honestly, most businesses are going to need a combination of both. You want to reach as many people as possible, especially in the beginning, because you may not know who your exact target audience is. But later on, once you have that dialed in, you want to go after the people that are really more likely to either work with you, invest with you, sell to you, whatever you need. You want to have them very dialed in and targeted, and that'll generally be a better bang for your buck. You may have to spend more time on those people, but the likelihood of you doing something with them, whether it's investing, closing them, selling them, buying from them, is much higher than if you're just spamming everyone. The next big tip is do the basics the same way every time. This could be due diligence. It could be writing letters, emails, phone calls, audio and video editing, dealing with vendors. But the basic stuff that's going to take up most of your time but doesn't take that much thought, you want to have that done the same way every time. And honestly, the things that are going to take up a lot of thought, you want to do that the same way every time as well, so you can have things standardized so you have more energy and efficiency. and this will really help you stay sane and get things done quickly and be efficient. Tying in with this, the next tip is make easy to follow systems for yourself and other people. It could be making them for your investors, making them for VAs, making them for other employees. It could be making them for people that are going to buy and sell to you. This could be checklists, videos, a schedule, basic communications. You want to make these systems as easy to follow as possible. That way, you can actually clear your plate a little bit and have people help you out. The other thing is God forbid, maybe you have to step away from the business for a minute. Hopefully it's for a vacation, but it could be because there's some bad family issues. Maybe you have bad health. Maybe you die. If you have systems in place, this can help the people carry on without you in your absence, and so your investors, customers, whoever are taken care of, and it's a more seamless transition. And that's it for this video, folks. We covered roughly 50-ish different topics, and hopefully roughly 10 minutes. We'll look at the timer here and see where we're at.